Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dariana, aka Not a Her Time, aka your trading bestie. And today's video is going to be a trading psychology video. Today I'm going to be talking about FOMO. This video was actually inspired by a trade that I missed out on AU, I believe it was earlier this week on Monday. And then also I tilted today, broke my trading plan, and I ended up not taking a full loss, but I lost money on a winning trade. And my trading psychology in that trade was just not good. So I just thought it was kind of funny and a little bit ironic that I tilted on my trading plan today on the day that I'm filming this trading psychology video. So that's how you know, like, we need this. I need this. Trading psychology is something that needs to be practiced and reinforced consistently. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I've been experiencing FOMO, and I, always have to ask myself why. Why am I experiencing FOMO all of a sudden? Maybe not even all of a sudden, but why am I experiencing a level of FOMO so much so that I have to take a step back and take a closer look at my trading psychology? Ever since I made the switch to futures, I've been trying to refine the way that I trade, meaning that basically I'm just trying to only take my ideal setup. I feel like before I switched to futures, like back in my forex days, or even just like, back when I first started trading supply and demand, I feel like I didn't experience FOMO as much because I had a setup basically every day, or I was taking setups every day. I would take 1 to 2 setups a day and I would at least get one. Recently, as I've been showing up to the market and ever since I updated my trading journal, I've been keeping track of the trades that I do take alongside the trades that I don't take as well. And in my trading journal, it's just very easy to set a little filter for like your week. And I could just see for the missed trades that I journaled, I could just see like, okay, most of the trades that I saw this week ended up losing, or most of the trades that I saw this week were winning. So I could clearly see what setups I took and all the setups that happened for the week on all my pairs. I feel like bringing this data to my attention has been subconsciously affecting my trading psychology and has been causing me to feel FOMO. I think this is for multiple reasons. One, I'm taking way less trades, so I don't even trade every day anymore. And two, I can clearly see that some of the missing setups that I don't take end up winning. Even if they were lower quality, I'm seeing that there are winning setups that are happening and I'm not taking them. I want to emphasize AU on Monday, but there was a counter trend demand setup that I kind of didn't like because it was kind of trend and the box super huge, and I was just like, I don't like that. And we were bearish on the higher time frame, so I passed up the setup and it ended up winning. I started feeling FOMO. I was like, oh my gosh, like I should have took that setup. But then I had to remember again, why did I pass up that setup? Because on that same day, GU, I believe, also had a setup that was similar. It was a counter trend demand setup. GU's higher time frame was also bearish, and that setup ended up losing. But those setups had the same qualities though. I was like, dang, that's crazy. I see the same 2 setups. I passed up one of them, well, that one won, and I passed up the other one that looked exactly the same, and that one lost. And it just made me realize, like, okay, FOMO, you trying to creep in. Here are some of the thoughts that I be having when I'm experiencing FOMO or I'm noticing that my trading psychology is acting up. And I just need to bring myself back down and bring myself back into trader mode. This is the first thing I have to ask myself. Why am I experiencing FOMO if I'm following my trading plan? I had to ask myself that, like, Dariana, if I pass up a setup because I know that I can't take it with confidence, or maybe it just doesn't align with what I know I win the most on, so I pass it up and it wins. If I pass it up, why should I feel FOMO if that trade wins if I was acting in accordance to my trading plan? And I was like, Dariana, like, this doesn't make sense because this is good. You're acting in accordance to your trading plan. You're being selective with your trades. Why should you feel FOMO since this trade won if you already knew that this trade was lesser quality and it had a chance to lose as well? I had to ask myself, why am I feeling FOMO if I'm acting in accordance to my trading plan? And I was thinking maybe I'm attaching the feeling of success to winning setups. Going forward, like, I want to try to rewire my brain to attach the feeling of success to following my trading plan and not to the outcomes of the setups. Because winning setups and trading profits is just a byproduct of being a disciplined trader and following a trading plan and your trading strategy. We see a winning setup and then, like, we get this like this boost of like, I don't know, them hormones come in and we feeling good. Hey, I'm being profitable because I just won this setup. But even if the setup lost though, if the setup was according to your trading plan, then that's still good. If I passed up a setup and it ended up losing, then I would be like, whew, like that was a close one. We would be happy that we passed up a losing trade. Or because a setup wins, that's when we start feeling that FOMO. If the trade instantly goes into profit after we decide not to take it, that's when we start feeling feelings of doubt, maybe even regrets of not getting into that trade, just because of what the market is showing us. Asking yourself, would you feel this way if this trade had lost, really exposes just how much our emotions are tied up into what the market is showing us. Our emotions are tied up to the outcomes of our setups. Because like I said earlier, we really only experience FOMO when we see a setup we missed out on and it ended up winning. If it didn't win, then we're not feeling like we missed out. I feel like a lot of us can experience FOMO when we're in a winning trade and we get out and our winning trade ends up going for way more than what we expected. I feel like this could be common with one-to-one traders because that's kind of like what I am. I only really take one-to-ones. It's very rare that I hold over one-to-one because I just like one-to-one. Even though like I still give myself that like flexibility to go for longer targets if I want to, just I guess knowing that I could have held if I wanted to and then didn't, kind of that's when that FOMO comes in. Even if I don't like break my trading plan, even if I don't like start over trading, you're still feeling this like emotion. Like I don't know how to explain it. This wave of something come over to you, like did I just mess up? Could I have executed that better? But at the same time though, did I execute my trading plan correctly? If my first TP is 1-to-1 and I close all positions at 1-to-1, that's not necessarily a bad thing. If we are executing our trades in accordance to our trading plan, why are we upset? Here's some ways that I like to try and avoid FOMO when I am about to trade. So the first thing I try to do is stay off social media and stay out of the discords. I'm in a few discords with some other traders and I like to go in there, you know, in the morning, like, let me see what they're doing. Like, you know, let me see what our fellow traders are doing. You know, we see the London traders in there, they send in all their winning trades, or like people who are up before you, maybe they trade like an earlier session and, you know, they have these amazing setups and it's like, okay, like, you know, you see your fellow traders eating. I try not to look at it too much before I trade. I try to look at the discords after my trading session so that I don't see anything in the discord that may affect my sentiment towards the market. If I'm seeing that like maybe the London session traders were eating in their session and now I'm coming to the market where at 8 a.m. is the New York session now and I'm expecting to also be eating because I'm seeing, okay, it's a good day in the market. But it doesn't work that way because London session is in London and New York is New York. It's just because somebody else had a good trading day or like their session was good doesn't automatically mean that, you know, your session will also be good as well, because we all are different traders. For most of us, trading is an individual thing. Other people's trading results do not tie into our own trading results. We all have different sentiments about the market. We have different market biases. We trade different strategies. People have different emotional tolerances when they're in the market. We're all different. If you're gonna go on social media, see what our fellow traders are up to, try and save it until after your session so that you're not impacted by any outside information you might have just taken in before you did your market analysis, if that makes sense. You know, just like a little slight thing. Another thing that I like to do as well to try to keep myself out of my FOMO is I be talking to myself. I gotta talk myself out of it. Like if I start feeling my emotions get up, like I'm feeling nervous in a trade, or like maybe my trade is starting to consolidate and I'm like, okay, Dariana, why my heart, you know, your heart do that little jump. Like I don't know how to explain it, but y'all know your heart do that little like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. Once I start feeling that feeling, like my second self come into my brain, it's like, okay, I see you're feeling, you know, I see you're feeling a little anxious. I see you're feeling a little nervous. I gotta just talk yourself down, talk yourself out of, you know, the FOMO, talk yourself out of breaking your trading plan before you actually do it. That's usually what I do. But even today, y'all, like I said earlier in the video, I had tilted today on my trading plan. I broke my trading plan today. It happened so fast. Like it happened so fast. Like when I started feeling that like fear come in, I was no longer trading from a place of, you know, control anymore. Now I was the emotions were starting to come in. It happened so fast. I couldn't even talk to myself. I had already acted before my awareness could come in. I had already closed the trade early and TP was hit like right after that, and then I was like, damn. But that's why like you always gotta try and like stay on your toes when it comes to like your internal awareness. To piggyback off that tip as well, I will also recommend keeping a journal, like a physical journal with you while you're trading, and just taking notes. Take notes of how you're feeling, what you're seeing, and how it's making you feel. And it's very nice to look back at it after the end of your trading session, and you could kind of see like, oh, at this point when I saw this, I was feeling this way. But then after some time, and the candles printed, more candles printed, and the market showed you what it was gonna do, then you see how your emotions change so much just based off what we're seeing in the market. And I actually have an example from a time I did it before. This is my old journal that I recently finished, and I did a lot of like trading thoughts entries up here, just like while I was trading, just like keeping note of how I was feeling. So I'm gonna read one for y'all. I think this one was during January. 8:05 a.m. I'm making the intentional choice to pass up AU demand, even though it has a bigger structure and is going away from the 200 because of the double top that's above the setup and the consolidation on the higher time frame. 8:14. Okay, this is at 8:14. Trade is currently taking off with momentum, so I guess it had tapped into the demand and gave you my break, or gave the break of the candle, so I could have got in. 8:14 a.m. Trade is currently taking off with momentum. Kind of mad at myself for not taking it. But I have to remember, this is me talking out of it, talking myself out the FOMO. But I have to remember my reason for not getting in. Even if this trade wins, it's okay because I knew the risk involved with taking this setup. And then fast forward 8:22 a.m., that AU demand ended up losing. Obviously now I feel better about my choice of not taking that setup. Like when I go back and read this, I can see like 8:05, I'm kind of like calculated. I know like I'm following my trading plan that, okay, I've seen this type of stuff before. I know that like it has a higher chance of losing, not going in my favor. Let me pass it up. 8:14, when it taps into the demand, starts taking off with momentum, I'm feeling mad. I said, what'd I say? Kind of mad at myself for not taking it. Why did I say that? Why are you mad? You know, I shouldn't even be mad if I made that choice with intention. And then 8:24 or 8:22, when it's like, when I see the outcome of the trade, now I'm like, whew, now I'm happy, now I'm good. But if that trade had won, I would have regretted not taking it, I bet. Keeping a journal just so that you could mark or write down the emotions, what you're seeing, and the emotions tied to it as it's happening can really expose you on how our emotions, again, are tied up in this market and tied up to the outcome of our setups. That's all I pretty much have for this video. I just wanted to get up here and talk to y'all about FOMO, talk about some trading psychology stuff. I don't know, I just love trading psychology because, I mean, I kind of have to love it because I need my trading psychology to be on point. I want y'all's trading psychology to also be on point as well. I'm really realizing that it's not even like the strategies, guys. Like, we literally, like, we see so many traders, we all trade different ways, different strategies, different time frames, different chart types, so many different ways to trade, and low-key all the strategies really do be working. It's about how well do you use the strategy. How well you use your strategy basically directly ties to how well is your trading psychology. Okay, how well can you stick to your system without making emotional decisions? Thank y'all for letting me share my experience with FOMO and my experience with trading psychology. Leave a comment below if y'all also deal with a lot of FOMO. How do you guys overcome your FOMO? Anyway, let me end the video. If no one has told you yet, let me be the one to tell you that someone has faith in you and that someone is me. With love, I will see y'all in the next video.